Good morning, good morning. What's going on, everyone? What is up? So today, we're actually going to have more time for Rune King, honestly, because I did not finish my lore article. This one took me a long time to make. This Riot MMO article took a while. The research took a lot of time, and like I knew what mega servers were. I knew the different kind of servers an MMO can have. But once you really dive deep, like to understand what the flaws are of everything, what are the benefits of every server design, and then to speculate on what Riot should do, it took a freaking while. But I think I came up with a great idea for server integrity and how to solve the problems that a lot of MMOs have around servers and communities. Because when it comes to the actual server, there are a couple of options, right? We have solutions like sharding and whatnot. We're going to talk about all that. But because it took me so long to make this article, there's not going to be an EntGrove lore article today. And that's because the lore article that I was trying to do was for the Eye in the Abyss, which is my second favorite story after the fall of Acacia. And that one I didn't finish because I didn't finish like going through and adding in my notes. So that one's going to have to wait till tomorrow. But we still got the Riot MMO article, and then we'll just go straight from there into the Rune King, and we need to do a little bit of playthrough through the Rune King. Oh, and I need to make the Ari and Yasuo the backstory summaries. So those will maybe we'll do like a lore day tomorrow, because we got to catch up on lore. We've got to do Ari, we got to do Yasuo, and I really want to do the Eye in the Abyss. So maybe there won't be a Riot MMO article tomorrow, just like there isn't a lore article today. All right. So today I want to talk to you guys about the soul of the server, forging community in Riot MMOs. At the end of the day, like the community, sure, it's on like the player base to make it. But at the same time, it's on the Riot Games team to facilitate the environment that allows it to happen. So the billion-dollar architecture question. The ultimate success of the Riot Games' highly anticipated MMO won't just hinge on its combat, graphics, or the rich lore of Runeterra. Its long-term fate will be forged in a realm largely invisible to the player, its server architecture, which is more than a technical detail. It's a philosophical choice that will shape the game's social fabric, community health, and its stability to survive in a cutthroat market. And that's just the world of Runeterra. The MMO genre is defined by a deep tension between two design philosophies. That's what I've noticed. On one side, we have the legacy of classic, isolated servers. Digital worlds that fostered powerful bonds, lasting reputations, and unique server identities. On the other are modern mega servers, a dynamic sharding which prioritize seamless access and performance, often at the cost of social cohesion. So I searched around Reddit. I looked at like what the community sentiment is, and that's where it seemed like the divide is. Some people were like, we want classic, where it's an isolated server, which is how classic would be, right? You join Whitemane, or Bigglesworth, or Bloodsail Buccaneers, whatever. And that server is completely isolated from the rest of these servers. If you go into the forest and you're farming boars, then you will only see people from your server and doing that thing. And if there's no one on your server in that area, well, then you'll never see anyone. The good thing about something like this is that, yeah, it does form, like connections and bonds with other players, and you form a reputation. Like, let's say you're a guy who's known on the server for ganking. You go out, you gank a bunch of players on the other side. You develop a reputation with them. Like, I know there was a guy on the Horde who is a rogue, and he was just pushing people off of bridges. The Alliance players definitely knew who this guy was. They were like, watch out for this guy, Bridge Pusher 123, because he's pushing people off the bridge. Like, there's like a smoke bomb or whatever attracts someone, they fall off the bridge. So your reputation means a lot here. And the same thing goes the other way. Like if you ninja loot one time, which is, the raid drops a guild set, an armor set, or whatever. And, we're obviously going to have armor and gear drop in Runeterra. And this guy during the Sun Disc raid freaking ninja loots the shield and leaves the guild. Well, on a mega server, on a single server, like how it is in Classic, everyone's going to know about it. People are going to talk. All the way from Demacia, Noxus, Ionia, whatever. The whole server, the whole world is going to communicate about it and say that this guy ninja looted. And so you're damaging your reputation, and that kind of incentivizes players to behave well. because now your name has meaning. That's part of the reason why online is so hard. Like on Reddit, that's why 90% of people on Reddit are freaking rude, is because they're hiding behind a name. Even me, I'm hiding behind the name EntGrove, right? But at the same time, I have like a website tied to me. I have a YouTube channel tied to me. So there's a little bit more tied to my name compared to someone who's like literally just the username and they can change it at any time. In World of Warcraft, the reason it mattered, and in any server, is because your player character, that name can't be changed. If you created your character and your name was Bigglesworth, well, your name is going to be Bigglesworth for as long as you're playing Classic WoW. And so your reputation matters. That's why online people are rude. It's because they can just change their name. It doesn't matter. And then there's a couple of different. So I saw this image online. This is sourced from Reddit that I found while I was researching like people's sentiment. Mega server was server doesn't matter except for RVR, and then a lot of traditional server system is Final Fantasy. So that would be like what I was talking about. Can pick any server at any time is RuneScape, which is like you log on. Toontown is like that too. I don't know if you guys ever played Toontown Rewritten. It's honestly a freaking great game. But you log on, you pick your server. There's Lord of the Rings Online, which is like traditional server system. That's the same, where it's like you have a single server, like Classic WoW. World of Warcraft, you have the Classic, which is a lot traditional server system. Can do dungeons, raids, PvP with players from other servers. That's like retail. So you're on a traditional server, but then you start sharding in and communicating. So that's not 100% accurate right here. What this guy put, this is someone else's image, but you got the gist. It kind of like, there's Classic WoW and there's Retail WoW where it starts blending together different servers. EVE Online has a mega server. We're going to talk about that, one giant server. The Elder Scrolls Online also has a mega server, but giant server, but it has dynamic shards and layers. So shards are like different mini servers that they split to, and I have a good image for it. And there's layers, which is like the same server but different layers of it. And the New World is locked traditional server system. So Riot Games, with its immense resource and global infrastructure from a decade of managing League of Legends, is uniquely positioned to solve the mega server paradox. This analysis explores the technical challenges, the social consequences of different server models, and the potential path Riot could take to build a world that is not only massive and stable, but feels like a living community, a world that truly remembers its players. And what do I mean by mega server paradox? I mean that if you have a mega server, let's say everyone in America is all on one server, and everyone in the EU is all on one server. Well, now the problem is that, let's say everyone in America gathers in Shurima, or let's say, let's not keep using the sun disk. Everyone in America gathers in Bilgewater Bay on Butcher's Bridge. Well, that's going to be pretty server intensive. It's probably going to cause the server to lag and possibly crash, because every single player is concentrated in a single location. And that means that, what I mean by that is like, why it causes so many problems is because every single player is now compounding data by interacting with other players. So let's say that someone like throws a dance bomb that makes everyone dance or something like that. Well, now that data from that dance bomb needs to interact, instead of like with one player or two player out in freaking Kumongu, it's going to interact with freaking hundreds of players all at once because he threw it and it has like an area of effect. Well, that's why all the data keeps getting larger and larger and larger when you get so many players all in one space, because every ability, every action that someone does, and everyone has to be updated. So this person just steps to the left. Well, now hundreds of people need to be updated that this person just stepped to the left. The Ghost in the Machine, Modern MMO Worlds. At the heart of every MMO lies a daunting mathematical reality. The number of updates a server must process scales quadratically with the player count in an area. Doubling the player doesn't double the load, it explodes it, creating two game-breaking problems: server overload and content starvation. So you have all these people, look at their small group, they're all happy. But when too many players gather, the server lags or crashes. When resources are finite, too many players mean quest mobs are instantly killed and nodes are always depleted. To combat this, developers have built this sophisticated toolkit. So you can see this is like South Shore versus Terran Mill in World of Warcraft, and this many players, you can see like that guy just snapped back. There's a couple, look at that guy. Look at this guy's bouncing around. It causes players to lag, especially now with them all using abilities and calculating the damage on all those guys. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. The developer's toolkit. So one tool that they use to combat this is sharding, and I hate the word. I think it sounds like sharding. You know, when you fart and there's a little bit of extra cushion that comes out, and that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's like sharding all over my game. So what sharding does is it creates multiple identical copies or shards of a zone and automatically distributing players among them to keep populations manageable. Modern cloud infrastructure allows these shards to be created and destroyed on demand. So all these players are all in one area, while a shard would basically create a separate server in a sense, and then port half these players over to there to maintain, you know, balance and integrity. You can't do a South Shore versus Terran Mill on retail WoW. It's not even possible, because grouping this many players together in one area would like cause you to shard over to another server. That's how it works. The South Shore, and they created like a battleground of it because people wanted to do it. There's also layering, which is a temporary realm ride form of sharding. So think about it, you're on the same server in layering, but the thing is that you're not on a different server. You're still on the same server, it's just a different layer of it. And this is used for World of Warcraft at launch of Classic to handle the massive day one influx, because they're not going to shard people over to a different server. They're going to layer on the same server. Layers are gradually collapsed into a single world as the population stabilizes. So you can see this in Classic WoW, and this was probably even with the layering. So yeah, there's probably, you got to kill a wolf at the start in Classic World of Warcraft. That was probably really difficult at the launch. This is the difference. So you have sharding. You can see Billy over here on Realm 2, and there's Johnny and Karen over on Realm 1. Well, Johnny and Karen, maybe there's like a bunch of people over here in Realm 1. You can see how massive the server is compared to Realm 2. Well, Johnny and Karen got sharded over to Billy's Realm 2 server, and now they're on their own shard. Then there's layering, which is you take the same server and you just layer it. You just cut it into pieces. And then after, 3 to 12 weeks, it becomes one server again. So they don't have, it doesn't stay separate. That's why they did that for Classic WoW. There's also cross-realm zones, which is the opposite of sharding. Cross-realm zones merges players from multiple low population servers into a single shared instance of a zone to make the world feel alive. This is basically like if your server is dead, they want you to feel like you're in another server, that your server is not dead. You join a low population server, they'll do cross-realm zones. So you're out in Mulgore, which is like no one's there, some random place. Let's say you're out in, your server is completely empty, and you're out in, Vikaru, you're going to trade, or better yet, like that place you're probably not trading there, Tereshni. You're going to Tereshni to trade, but your server is completely dead. Well, when you get to Tereshni, it'll, do some cross-realm zones, and you'll be able to see other players. There's also phasing, which is horrible. It's a narrative tool that alters the world for an individual player based on their quest progression. Players in different phases, even in the same spot, are invisible to each other. Now, the problem with phasing is that you get stuff like this. Look at this guy phasing in and out. Like half his characters are phasing. Watch, he'll pop back. There he is. Comes in, does some abilities, and crosses over to another phase. And I've seen this happen. Like, let's say you're questing and the story world changes. The story advances to the point the world changes, which is pretty cool that you can like see the world change and adapt as you play. But I do see people like they'll accept a quest or turn down a quest, and then they'll just kind of fade away and disappear. The widespread adoption of these technologies is driven by economics. Elastic cloud computing like AWS is far more cost-effective than maintaining physical servers that must be over-provisioned for peak loads. This shift from a visible infrastructure, so choosing a server, to an indivisible one, automated sharding, prioritizes a frictionless just play experience. The unintended consequence is that by removing the choice of a home, the concept of the home itself erodes. The seamless experience becomes a placeless one. And so even though there's a bunch of people, it still feels empty, because those people aren't real at this point. Like they might as well be NPCs. They're bouncing between shards, bouncing between worlds, bouncing between freaking zones, right? Cross-realm zones. It becomes like, yeah, sure, your world feels full, but it might as well be this. Hey, what up, Toucher? So comparison of MMO server architectures. These are like all of them listed. There's a classic isolated one that's like vanilla, WoW, EverQuest, Final Fantasy. Its stability with hardware limits and persistent world state, but its strong self-contained server identity and reputation systems. This is what needs to be maintained, in my opinion. That's what you need to keep and somehow expand out into something like a mega server. Like the community bonds, the player reputation matters, unique server culture. People were proud of their server. Like people would always say, "Oh, my server has the best PvP guild in America," you know, stuff like that. Or when you're watching like a PvP event, imagine you're watching like a League of Legends event, you know, but that group, they play on your server, you know. It's not just like a random team. Your League of Legends server, which is the server that you compete with, the server that whenever you queue into a League of Legends game, you're only playing with people. Let's say from, even simplify it even further. Let's say League of Legends only lets you queue with people from Michigan or from your state. And League of Legends, that team that plays for you, plays on your whatever, they're like #1 ranked in League of Legends for PvP. They're from your state. It matters more. It means more to you because now you're like, oh, it's Michigan. That's why freaking sports teams do so well. It's because it's like groups everyone together as your state, compared to like when you're just a fan of a random team that has nothing to do with you. It creates a connection between you and that team. There's a psychology to it too, where it's like, you know, when they win, you say we won. When they lose, you say they lost. It's because you want to feel like you're a part of it. And you definitely feel more you're a part of it when you're a part of that, more of a community bond. And there's sharding and layering, which is managing high player density, cost efficient to be elastic scaling. And we talked about that, how it fragments player groups within the same server. And it's smooth launch, it handles crowds, but it prevents content starvation. But player resources disappearing, social disconnect, and feels artificial. Like sharding, these might as well be NPCs when people get sharded or layered between you. Then there's the mega server, which eliminates a lot of the problems. The problem is that it's easy to group with friends. This is incorrect. I had to fix that. The problem is that it's very resource intensive. Then there's the single shard, single percent unified server for all players. Extreme technical difficulty requires specific game design. That's like EVE Online. Which is, EVE Online does a mega server, so that's what happened. These are supposed to be one. The cost of convenience, eroding community. The most jarring impact of dynamic sharding. Yo, I saw your videos posted on Reddit, found a lot of negativity, to be honest. Yeah, we were talking about that. I never usually comment on Reddit, but I had stern word. Hopefully people can be nicer in this community. It's all right. I've been doing this for, 3 years now, so. Like I was saying, like we're talking about MMOs and how player identity matters and what ways Riot can manage, like create the servers and the mega server paradox, and talking about reputation. And I was talking about how like my reputation matters a little bit more, right? Because I'm tied to a YouTube channel, I'm tied to a website, compared to someone on Reddit who's just tied to a handle that can be changed tomorrow. And so that's a great example of sharding, or layering, or cross-realm hopping, whatever, because your reputation doesn't matter. And an MMO, reputation has to matter because it's kind of like a police force for yourself, for the community. You're more conscious of your name when it has value. That's why people police themselves better in person compared to Reddit, because Reddit or Twitter or whatever, like a person will have 0 followers. Their account doesn't matter to them. They'll just do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and not be concerned with the consequences. In MMO, your name should matter, unlike Reddit, where your name, for most people, doesn't. The cost of consequences, eroding a community. The most jarring impact of dynamic sharding is the invisible instability it introduces. But I appreciate the kind words, Komoribi. I really do. And I appreciate you having my back. It does mean a lot. The most jarring impact of dynamic sharding is the visible instability it introduces. Players report rare monsters vanishing mid-fight, friends become invisible to each other in the same spot, and resource nodes disappearing upon approach. These aren't bugs, these are systems working as intended, making the world feel fragile and fake. I cannot count the amount of times that I would literally walk. I could see like a mine node. I would walk to it and it would disappear. I'd walk back a little bit and then it would reappear. And that's because there's probably a bunch of people mining that node. And so when I'd get close to it, it would literally shard me over to a different layer or something like that. Or the amount of times I'd see someone disappear, or the amount of times someone's like, where are you? Oh, I'm by the mailbox in front of the auction house. And I'd have to literally invite them to a group because I wouldn't be able to see them. And we were on the same server. People will be less likely to do things bad if they can be held accountable. Yeah. How does this work in WoW? By the way, never played it before. So WoW has a couple options. Classic WoW is a single server. So your server is your server and you'll never leave it. Even if your server is completely empty, you're isolated and there's no sharding or layering or anything like that. Compared to World of Warcraft retail, which is like, you can do dungeons, raids, PvP with players from other servers. Even in your main like hub city, you'll likely see people from your other servers. But basically it makes the world feel full. And the problem with Classic WoW is that, when you get a bunch of people grouped together, it becomes like this where everyone's lagging because of the amount of interactions that are happening in a single second. But the problem with the retail WoW is that you can't have events like this because this would automatically layer and shard people like crazy to, make the server run more smoothly because you can't have this many people interacting at once. So this isn't even possible in retail WoW. So there's trade-offs. From neighbors to NPCs. In a world populated by a revolving door of anonymous players, there are no social consequences for one's actions. Reputation becomes meaningless. Fellow adventurers cease to be potential allies or rivals and are devalued into temporary advanced NPCs, tools to be used and discarded. This fosters an environment that is not just antisocial, but can be actively toxic, as the system removes the natural incentives for cooperation that arise from repeated interaction. So you can see everyone crying around this guy in this image. Well, I mean, if this wasn't like, if this is clearly Classic WoW, so this is an isolated server, this guy just died in Iron Forge, it has value. Like this, they might know this player, they recognize his name, and something just killed him in Iron Forge. Well, you know what? If this guy died in Iron Forge, they're probably gonna run and tell everyone at the front of Iron Forge that someone just got killed. There's maybe a horde in the area. There's a horde rogue running around Iron Forge, and everyone's probably gonna run around, do some like area of effect abilities to try to find him. In retail WoW, if this guy's dead on the floor, everyone's just going to walk past him. One, because that rogue might not even be here. It might be on a different layer. And two, you could go up and tell these people, and they're all from different servers, and they're going to layer into different layers the second they get over into this room. Or shard over to different, and especially if they all start using abilities, it's going to shard them over for sure. It's like, this person doesn't matter anymore. And that, by the way, that's the first time they've ever seen this guy. He doesn't have a name to him. He's just anonymous person 123. Might as well be an NPC. This technology also creates a social uncanny valley. The world appears bustling, but the player's subconscious knows something is wrong. The other avatars look like players but behave like ghosts, appearing and disappearing without reason, unable to be traded with. This was recently updated by World of Warcraft, so you can trade with anyone on any server now. And that's because it was such a freaking problem. Like, I would literally be going into a dungeon with a group, and I try to trade them because I was like an alchemist, so I would make potions or whatever, and some of these potions would have effects that would help you when you go into the dungeon from the start. And so I'd be trying to trade these people the literal potion, and I couldn't because they were on a different server, and yet we were playing together for like an hour. And so it becomes like, okay, well, people don't really matter. It's a solo game, and you rarely communicate. This dissonance creates a deeply unsettling feeling of artificiality, and so this is really what it feels like. This person's standing in the middle forest by himself, and he's just queuing for dungeons, looking for group. Legends of the Realm, Vanilla WoW's server identity. So to understand what's been lost, we must look to a golden age of the isolated server, exemplified by the original 2004 release of World of Warcraft. Each server has a self-contained digital world, a virtual city-state, and choosing a server was choosing citizenship. This enforced and the citizenship can be revoked. That's the thing. That's how it should be. Your reputation matters. That's how it should be. This enforced isolation was the critical ingredient for a genuine community. In this closed ecosystem, a player's reputation was their most valuable currency. A ninja looter would be blacklisted server-side, while a skilled crafter or reliable tank could become famous. Your name meant something because your actions had lasting consequences. You can see these people all know each other. They're all grouped together. And even like these Horde and Alliance players are aware of each other, despite them being on separate factions. Over time, each server developed a unique culture. Sargeras was known for hyper-competitive PvP. Moonguard became a haven for role players, unless you go to, what's it called? There's an inn on Moonguard. I'm not even going to say it. The inn that must not be named. It's also known for that. This server identity was a source of pride and a powerful retention tool. The key was not the number of players, but the persistence of that population. Modern sharding by design creates 100% population churn, guaranteeing an anonymity and preventing these cultures from ever taking root. You can see, like, everyone's, this is just like a PvP in classic WoW, and these people that are playing in this battleground are actually, they'll see each other out in the world again. The mega server paradox. In response to issues like dead servers and fractured friend groups, many MMOs adopted a mega server architecture. And then I'll go into that theory. LOL has an honor system, and certain functions within the game are blocked/unblocked based on your track record. I am hopeful they will do something similar in the MMO. Yeah, definitely an honor system would be good too. Yeah, I think an honor system should be in play in addition to something like this. So in theory, on the mega server paradox, its ultimate solution: no server selection. You can always play with friends, and the world is always populated. The reality, however, is that a mega server is just a sophisticated load balancing system that still relies heavily on the same sharding technology. It's often just a buzzword for automated channels. So when I really looked into mega server is just one big server for everyone, but it uses a lot of sharding and layering because to combat, the groups and a bunch of, like, this would on a mega server, you wouldn't want this. People would get sharded and layered to different, layered, not really sharded. A lot of layering in mega servers. But we can look at two that did it: Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls Online. Guild Wars 2 pioneered this tech, ensuring every zone feels active. However, by mixing players from an entire region into efficiently dissolving the unique server communities from the game's early years, the Elder Scrolls Online faces similar challenges, with players noting that community can only exist within formal guild structures. The European mega server also highlights the problem of language barriers, when players often find themselves unable to communicate with others on their shard. So, like, a mega server for EU, a mega server for America, everyone speaks English. A mega server for EU, well, now people are speaking French, Spanish, freaking Italian. It's like, okay, how many people are you going to group? Are you going to have a different mega server for each country? Or are you going to limit the language? I don't know. It's tough. A single sharded exception is EVE Online. The only MMO to achieve a true single server experience is EVE Online. This is possible because the vast emptiness of space is a natural load balancer. In rare cases of massive fleet battles, CCP games uses time dilation, this wouldn't work anyways, but they slow down the simulation in that star system to as little as 10% speed. This gives the server time to process everything, a solution untenable for a fast-paced fantasy MMO where thousands might gather in one city. Like, you can't slow these interactions down by 10% in an MMO like World of Warcraft or how, Runeterra is going to be. But you can do that with EVE Online. So something like this, you can tell it's slowed down. And that's because there's just so much going on. Which is fine for a game like this, but wouldn't work for us. Ultimately, the mega server solves a logistical problem, but fails the social one. It provides a crowd, but it cannot create a community. The Runeterra conundrum. Riot's decision on server architecture will be a brand-defining statement. Public comments from developers show a keen awareness of this challenge. Former executive producer Greg Street once highlighted the team's group-centered design philosophy. So this was a thought that they were aware of from the very beginning, back when Greg Street, Ghostcrawler, was on the team. This will be vague, but our philosophy is that if you want to play a single-player game, there are great ones out there. Horizon, GOW, Persona. Shout out to Pathfinder WOTR. If you want to play a game with a community, with friends, then play our MMO. I thought that was a really big statement. More recently, developers acknowledged the difficult trade-off, stating the most important goal is to capture the essence of a community and make player interaction matter. I'm from the EU, and this is kind of a non-issue, to be honest. There's very few countries in the EU that refuse to speak English in online games. I also don't want a server for every country. That would be horrible. Yeah, because you wouldn't have enough players anyways. But that makes sense. So EU, that's good to hear. I've never played on an EU server, so I just assumed that, you know, you guys all speak different languages. How do you have like a server where everyone's all on one for EU? But if everyone speaks English, then that works. So you have like one mega server for EU, one mega server for US. So this part right here, let me play this. Oh, hold on, you guys can't hear it. Let me fix that. There we go. Now it should come through.
The thing I think Mark nailed it early on when we were talking about trade-offs is like, ultimately you can build games in different approaches, but they have really different trade-offs about that sense of identity and the sense of community that gets created. But then when you start to commoditize human interactions and like you're the same as any other bot that's walking by me, then you lose a lot of that. Megaserver also has some risk-on approaches. We actually have an engineer that worked on Guild Wars 2 and designed a lot of the Megaserver work. It has some of the like flaws and risks in that space. And the one thing that we definitely don't want to do is try and solve these solutions for absolutely everybody. We do want to have opinionated takes that have some trade-offs, but a lot of that essence of community and people feeling important and actually having these interactions matter with other people, those are values that we're excited to chase.
Yeah. So he's got the right mindset in mind, right? When it comes to what's needed on an MMO and what's like what they're looking at, they understand that there's culture, there's community, there's like your value matters, right? Like your name matters. So he mentioned the things that I was talking about that are very important. He talked about Guild Wars 2, the mega server. So that was really good to hear too. That was one of the most, when I heard that and then when I first listened to the video, I was like, okay, good. I'm worried about visual bloat / clarity. If there's a mega server and everyone uses abilities at the same time, yeah, that's something that I'm about to talk about too. So Riot is a novice in online infrastructure. The company operates Riot Direct, a private global network, and has extensive experience with scalable microservice architectures. However, the dream of a single non-sharded world fantasy MMO remains technology infeasible for now. The case of Amazon's New World, which still relied on isolated servers with a 2,500 player cap despite being hosted by AWS, is a powerful cautionary tale. Now, the solution is a potential hybrid solution. Given these constraints, Riot is likely exploring hybrid models. The two-tiered model, offering both modern sharded mega servers and a limited number of community servers that uses the classic isolated model. This caters to both crowds but risks splitting the player base. So you could choose, you know, you want to be on a mega server, you want to be on a community. Strategic, or you want to be a mega server, do you want to be on like one that has better server integrity and you won't lag. Strategic and temporary sharding, using sharding as a surgical tool only when necessary, like for new expansion launches or massive world events, while keeping social hubs and older zones persistent and non-sharded. This is like one that I think is great, but this is the best one that I came up with. The socially aware shard. The most promising path involves leveraging Riot's greatest asset, the pre-existing social graph of its massive player base. A socially aware algorithm could prioritize placing players in shards with their guildmates, friends lists, recent group members, and even friends from League of Legends or Valorant. This could transform sharding from a community breaking technology into a community reinforcing one. So what I'm saying here is that I like the combination of these two. So sharding only happens at specific events. So the game's launching, the starting zone, yeah, you'd want some sharding on there because otherwise everyone's gonna log on and just lag out. And that's not a good player experience. Or, you know, the raids opening up or something like that. And it's only allowed in those specific instances at those specific moments. So that way you can still have engagements like South Shore versus Terran Mill, which I agree are a mess when it comes to like abilities. Like it's harder to tell what's going on for sure when a bunch of people are doing a bunch of abilities all at once. At the same time, it's clearly appealing to a large player base because look at these people. They look like they're having a great time. And, you know, you can do everything you can to like make it visually clear when someone using an ability. But when you have hundreds of people all using ability, it's going to be hard to tell, you know, who's doing what, for sure. But yeah, I think it should only be in isolated events, and it should be a socially aware shard. So it shouldn't be just sharding people haphazardly. The world that remembers. The evolution of MMO servers reveals a core dilemma. Classic servers forged powerful communities, but had crippling logistics, while modern solutions fixed the logistics but stripped away the persistence and accountability that form a virtual world soul. The choice Riot faces is not just technical, it's a statement of values. Will Runeterra be a technological, impressive, but socially sterile theme park where actions leave no trace? Or will it be a true digital society where players build reputations, forge communities, and feel that their presence truly matters? The true challenge for Riot is to imbue their world with a soul. The server architecture they choose will be the code that determines whether their world can remember. And that's the main thing. The world has to remember, guys. It has to know what's going on. It has to know what people are doing and what people did. And without that, I don't see a lot of success happening. That's just my take, though. That's just my opinion on how an MMO should be run in terms of server architecture. I really think that this is the best way to go. Mega server, I think, would have to happen. It'd have to be like you can have temporary sharding, but only in designated spots. It can't be like automated where too many players get in one area. Well, it starts freaking sharding everyone. You know, I'm gonna say sharding on everyone. That's what it sounds like. It's not sharding. It's literally sharding. I freaking hate it. That can't happen. So it has to be like a surgical knife. Happen when it happens, and then socially aware. So it has to, like, you know, be aware of who it's doing it to. Let's go. Yo, what up, Nee? Hello, nice streaming, yo. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so I didn't finish the Riot Grove article. Love the energy here. Been building a space for Discord for streamers to collab. I'm not really looking to collab too much right now, just because kind of just doing my own thing. But thanks. But yeah, I didn't finish the lore article, so we're gonna skip that. Tomorrow we might just do lore. Just like today, we only did Riot MMO news because this article took me so long to make. This article just took me way too long to research it, and I had to figure out like what community sentiment was. I can't just go off my own opinions. I had to figure out like how people feel about this different stuff. And so that one took a while to make. That's why. XOXO, we love you. Not Sam. Yo, what up? Baldicus Ray. Geez, Samicus. My brother from the same mother. What's up, guys? What's going on? So yeah, we talked about so you are a better, intelligent, more gorgeous brother, and Samicus is bald and dumb. I think Samicus is better looking than me. Baldicus, Samicus. Jeez, Scamicus, man. Jeez, man. Guys, Sam is my brother. He's my brother. We're related. Jeez. I can't even say anything bad about you. Sam today gave me bis trinket. Well, you know, that's really good. He said you are better looking. No, he's better looking. Bitchicus. Oh my gosh. You are the better brother. We love you, not Sam. Come on, guys. I love Sam, okay? He said it. Man. This is my brother's like whole community. They're cold. They're real cold. Sam's chat is S tier, yeah. Who is older? He is. By not too much though. You know, I just had a daughter, so I'm up there too. It's not like I'm a kid. As much as I love insulting Sam, I can't do it today because Sam looks like a 60-year-old. Oh my gosh. Yo, thanks for all the follows. Jeez, guys. Well, good news is we're about to get into Rune King, so let me set that up while we're talking. So we're about to actually play a game. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Riot Forge titles. Rune King is a really good game. And we about to play it. So, unless you guys want to talk about something specific, Riot MMO. We burst his balls that we love him. Yeah. No, I know. We do know who is balder though. Well, I don't have a camera on. I could be completely bald. We don't know. So we were talking about the RIOT MMO and server identity. So these are all World of Warcraft players. So I was talking about, we can go through this a little bit before I just hop over. We were talking about servers, so I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. I was explaining how sharding is really not great and how it's degraded the community in World of Warcraft in a lot of ways. Same with layering. And the classic WoW has its benefits, but it's at the same time, you know, you have to account for, yeah, if a server dies, there's no one there. And we were comparing MMO server architectures. Sharding, yeah, exactly, sharding, that's what it should be. It's just a horrible experience. Freaking hate sharding. I love Sam, he's way more handsome and is a pro gamer. Yes. Come on, come on. Yeah, Sam's a good guy. Yeah, that's what I kept calling it sharding, because that's what it should be. And we were discussing like mega servers and how it would work, and you know, like on current WoW, people would walk over this guy's body, but in classic WoW, this guy's death had meaning. Like these people would probably see him, know this player, and then go up to the front of Orgrimmar and say, hey, there's probably a horde player around here. Someone just died. And then, you know, a whole experience would come out of this. But then in retail, okay, this guy's the first time you've seen him. He's dead, but who cares? And even if you go to the front of Orgrimmar, by the time you get back, his body might have been sharded over to another server. So what's the point? And this is really what it feels like a lot of times. And so I was talking about how you can create those social bonds in a mega server, but still accounting for the fact that, you know, as South Shore versus Terran Mill, at the end of the day, it's beautiful, but it does become a bit messy. And you, like, what about on launch? A bunch of people are going to be all together. How are you going to account for that on launch day? And like make it where it's a good launch experience for players. And so that's what I came up with. Where is it? EVE Online did a great job, but they're in space, so it acts as like a natural load balancer all itself. Original content, what's going on here? Yeah, I make these articles. This is my website, riotgrove.com. Yeah, I basically go through, well, you only have to click those once. But yeah, I basically go through, I saw like Riot Games news, Legends of Runeterra, you can get like patch notes and stuff. And I'm going to start hosting tournaments as soon as I get into I applied for Riot API access, start hosting tournaments and stuff. But then you can go here and you can see like a bunch of lore articles. We went through the fall of Acacia. We were going to go through the Eye in the Abyss, which is my favorite lore story. But I didn't finish the article yesterday because I didn't want to do it unless I can do justice. So this is my favorite lore story in all of Runeterra. I have a video on it now. It's old. I'm proud of it, but I don't know if everyone else is proud of it. But yeah, it's a long story, so to get like a solid article for it, I have to really work on it. But times change. On Classic was slow-paced stuff. Yeah, now it's more frenetic. That's true. Right, they are like lying and yang, yin and yang. Yeah, so like for this, let me go to that article. Here's my solution. Let me lower this a little bit. That's a little loud. So let me give you guys what I was thinking, and then you guys can tell me what you think about a server identity. Because I said Riot Games clearly understands that this is an issue, that this is something they need to think about via this video.
But they have really different trade-offs about that sense of identity and the sense of community that gets created.
Yeah, I do.
But then when you start to commoditize human interactions, and like you're the same as any other bot that's walking by me, then you lose a lot of that. Megaserver also has some risk and approaches. We actually have an engineer that worked on Guild Wars 2 and designed a lot of the Megaserver work. It has some of the flaws and risks in that space. And the one thing that we definitely don't want to do is try and solve these solutions for absolutely everybody. We do want to have opinionated takes that have some trade-offs, but a lot of that essence of community and people feeling important and actually having these interactions matter with other people, those are values that we're excited to chase.
Now,
yeah,
I'm not going to go into
this guy was replaced. He no longer works on the Riot project, but even before him, with Ghostcrawler, they talked about, you know, the importance that if you want to play a single player game, you can go play that. If you want to play an MMO, you know, play our game. And so I think they understand the importance of it. It's just about, can they execute? And my solution was like this: temporary sharding. So I said, man, why is it this one's just a loud background song? Let's go with, I always like the Piltover Rooftops one. I feel like it's peaceful, not too crazy. My solution was that using sharding as a surgical tool only when necessary, like for new expansion launches or massive world events, while keeping social hubs and older zones persistent and non-sharded. So like you can literally only shard in certain areas. That will allow for the South Shore versus Terran Mill stuff, but not allow for, like, I have a picture of classic WoW launch. You know, this, you want a good launch experience, and this isn't it. You guys know that quest where you have to kill a wolf? Well, good luck. How the hell are you going to kill a wolf with this going on? You're not. Like, there's people waiting for it to spawn. So you want a good launch experience, but then you don't want to continue sharding after on the mega server. You don't want to shard all over it. Just shard a little bit at the beginning, and then at certain times. You don't want to shard all day. What the fuck, you write these all by yourself? Respect, brother. Yo, thanks. Yeah, I mean, no one was really, there's no RIOT MMO like articles going through this stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to make them myself, and then I'll talk through them with the stream. Well, Sam said you love Riot stuff, but you play WoW too. Yeah, I do. I'm a torn druid. I haven't had as much time with the website after I started doing this, but I still love World of Warcraft. The socially aware shard, I also said, so like the most promising path involves leveraging Riot's greatest asset, which is like the pre-existing social graph and massive player base. And so when you do shard, it's selective. So it shards you with guildmates, friends lists, recent group members, even friends that you have from League of Legends or Valorant. If they're on your friends list, those should prioritize you sharding with them. So you can all shard together and you won't shard individually by yourselves. It doesn't feel as bad when others are sharding too. So that's my take. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts. And then tomorrow, I think it's just going to be Runeterra lore. I'm going to go through the Eye in the Abyss and the Watchers, which is one of my favorite stories in all of Runeterra. If you want to read it ahead of time, it's a great story. I have a video on it. It's an older video. It's a rough one. I don't think it's rough. I mean, people still comment on it and say it's good, but I can tell like my mic wasn't good, and you know, I did my best with what I had. So I got to unplug this. Let's get this in. Okay. And we'll switch over to Rune King. But we can still always talk Riot MMO. Riot Forge games are great. I don't know if you guys know about Riot Forge. It's a great game. Especially Rune King. Rune King might be my favorite one. Would be nice to be sharded with players who engage with similar level content too. Yeah, like it should prioritize your sharding. It shouldn't just shard you with anyone. You know, it should be selective. And you know, it's not right now. It's like there we go. Let me fix this. It's like right now it just kind of shards with anyone. It's a system that's automated and doesn't really prioritize who you're sharding with. Let me fix that. Oh, we need to pull up the lower corner. The lower corner. Where is that? Alright. Move this over here. Move you guys on this side. I don't want to be sharded with someone who farms white mobs 12 hours a day. Fair. You should be sharded with your friends list, honestly. Like, your friends list, your group members, that kind of thing is who you should shard with. Where's the... Oh, there it is. The lower corner. Let me fix that. Yeah, I really think that it can. It's not like it can't be done. It sounds fair to me. So this is Rune King. It's set in the League of Legends universe. We're currently in Bilgewater. Over here on the map. I can show you guys that really quick. So we're currently over here on the map in Bilgewater, and this game has a lot to do with the Shadow Isles over here. We're gonna learn, you know, how the Shadow Isles came to be and what made the Shadow Isles what they are today, because they were once a blessed place. Literally, the Blessed Isles. And in this game, we kind of go through the story of a couple champions and learn the story of both the Bilgewater and the Blessed Isles. And as well as like a place all the way over here on the right of the map that doesn't show up. Ayo, what up, Luffy? Luffy? Man, I was laughing so hard every time I tried to type your name in like YouTube when you'd comment on something. I'd always type Luffy and it'd autocorrect to Lucy. How did I miss that? That's really loud. Let me lower that. Let's go to like 30. That's better. Braum. Damn, I can't hit it. Let's just do a regular attack. This is Braum. He's from the Freljord. So Braum's actually from all the way over here. And this is Yasuo. He's from Ionia. And all these characters kind of congregate in Bilgewater. Braum comes over to the Freljord because there's like a sick child in the Freljord, and he hears about the Blessed Waters in the Shadow Isles. And so he sails all the way down frickin' to the Blessed Isles in literally a canoe to try to find the Blessed Waters to cure this person. Yasuo was from Ionia, and he just had a little tiff with his brother. And he comes over to Bilgewater to help Ari, who's another character who you can't see right now. To find, he's a hired sellsword almost. But he's got a lot of loyalty. And then there's Alawi. She's the middle one. She's from Bilgewater. Alawi is one of the Buhru people who worship a god called Negakaburos. Alright, I think if I go like this, and then I might be able to kill if I do a lane. So this game, you have like this bar down here. You can do a speed lane, a balance lane, and you kind of move between the different lanes to do different abilities, and you can like control the fight that way. But it's a turn-based battler. So for Alawi, you can do this, and you can see like that blue square. I'm trying to land in it. On YouTube side, the stream is in portrait mode, by the way. It seems fine on Twitch, though. It should be in both. Like, you can watch it in portrait mode or on, regular mode. Where is it? This one. This one should be, yeah. I mean, YouTube allows me to stream in both, so let me share this with you. Yeah, YouTube allows both. It might go out to Twitch too because I'm multi-streaming, but yeah, it went out to everything. But that's the link. Yo, hope you good, man. Yo, what up, individual? Yeah, everything's good on my side. Oh, let me just use this so I can heal. Oh, that was bad. I guess I'll heal Yasuo. You have like an ultimate ability. You could see that fire bar building up on the left side. And now I'm going to use it. Hey guys, on Twitch, I moved from YouTube. Yo, what up, Como? Yeah, I stream pretty much everywhere. I'm pretty sure I'm streaming on X as well. I just figure, why not?
I am a teacher. Bilgewater land.
Oh, am I still in the... Oh, guys, I'm still in the... My bad. I'm still in the lore section. You guys can see the fight. I need to get better with that, switching between the different scenes. I didn't really have scenes before recently. There's a story here of a family. Clario Estate. They get completely gutted. I think I have to go this way. It's a good story. It's sad, but I remember it. I remember it being pretty good. I think Twitch has a better streaming platform than YouTube, though. But like majority of my following's on YouTube, so I feel like I have to stream there. But in terms of like a streaming experience, I do feel like Twitch is better. It's also like where the heck even is it on YouTube? Like to find live streams. I feel like it's just if you follow someone, then maybe you'll see them as a live stream. But there's no live section like on Twitch, you know, where you can click on a game and then see all the live streams going on. You prepped the 2xKO beta by chance? I freaking wish, but I'm not in the 2xKO beta. Tell Riot to invite me. Yeah. I would love to have been in the 2xKO beta. I think 2xKO would do great with like a PvE mode, like Mortal Kombat and whatnot. Maybe I can do this. I don't think I'm able to land in that shield spot. Yeah, I think 2xKO, man, with a PvE mode would be fire. And they could easily do it. Well, freaking I'll push them into the shield. I don't want that. Yeah, 2xKO looks great though. I'm pretty excited for it. Main thing I want to get into the beta for is the RIOT MMO. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Man, I gotta freaking heal up Braum somehow. I might even just use a freaking potion. Alright, good. Don't kill. Please, please don't kill. No. Alawi has an ultimate that literally does like a ton of healing, but these guys keep dying before I get a chance to use it. Oh, and I forgot to use the upgrade points. Okay, I need to do that. Where is it? Abilities. Yeah, I've got like 2 for Alawi. We definitely want this. I think, where is it? This. Deal 2 damage back to attackers per hit. Increase tentacle chance spawn. Cleanse 1 debuff from self. That's good. This will allow Alawi to survive. And then basically Alawi, I just make her a freaking tank. And just taunt everything. And then so like she literally just will take all the damage and heal everyone the entire time. Braum, I'm not really going to use him anyways. Reduce physical damage taken. Increase stun duration. Well, a lot of the big enemies are going to become stun immune, so. And then Yasuo. Yasuo is pretty strong, actually. Gains 20% more crit chance from items. Grants additional stack of Tempest. That's good. And this ability is freaking fire when you use it, right? When it's like a big group. Lever to George. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I feel more people talk in chat on Twitch compared to YouTube. Yeah, and Twitch just has like a lot more features. Like I want to add, you know, the point system. Like you have points on Twitch or whatever, and like you can spend them. But I just haven't had the time to get around to it. But like, there's a lot more going on with Twitch than YouTube. Twitch allows you to have like the panels underneath your stream versus YouTube is just basically a description, the usual description that they have going on for videos. I feel like instead of making streaming its own thing on YouTube, where it's like instead of really working hard to make a streaming platform, they integrated streaming into the YouTube platform and just made it an option instead of actually working to build a streaming platform. Your mic has like a cracking effect. I think that keeps happening whenever I start playing the Switch for some reason. Let me look into it. That really sucks. Let me see. Oh wait, I can just listen to myself. I think, but it's not even in the wavelength. It's literally in Elgato or in like Elgato. Whenever I start listening, whenever I start playing sound from the 4KX. Let me hear. Test, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1. Hello. Yeah, I literally can't hear it in wavelength. I can only hear it in the actual stream. Fixed. Yeah, I have no idea what the heck's going on with that. It happens whenever I start playing. Fixed now. But see, like, it's very intermittent. It's so frustrating. I gotta figure out what it is. Oh, damn, yeah, I thought it was just me. Yo, what's up? Yo, what up, Lefty? Sounds better now. Mic is okay now. As soon as you open whatever it was to check, the cracking went away. Well, watch it start again. Watch it freaking start again. The second I start playing. It's like it knew I was listening, and so it stopped. It's like, oh shoot, she's gonna hear us. Wow. How the heck do you miss? Oh my gosh. What, does this guy have an effect on him that's causing me to miss? What is this? All non-speed lane attacks have 50% chance to miss, dispelled when hit with a speed lane attack. Well, I'm stupid. Okay. Alright, we'll do this with a speed lane. Oh, speed lane attack. There we go.
I seek guidance.
Yeah, see, Alao is just too strong of a healer and stuff. Adds damage shield to all allies, removes all debuffs. I mean, that might be pretty strong right now, honestly. 0 to 10, Yasuo main misses. Yeah, typical.
I'll be ready. Too easy.
Yasuo is a really hard champion in League of Legends. People like him, but he's very difficult to play. There's a lot of skill shots with Yasuo.
Good friends, good fight.
I think we're almost there. Where is it? Oh wow, the Clario Estate's all the way over here. The door is locked. I think we might play Song of Nunu after this rather than Convergence. Song of Nunu is a great game. Oh, wait. I almost screwed that up. Those guys need the speed lane attack again before I freaking miss with 15% chance. Alright. Speed lane attack. We'll do this. Yeah. This should push them all out of the frickin' shield thing. You can see, like, it pushes them back on the bottom bar, so that little square is like a boost, it's a bonus. It gives you a shield, and so I wanted to push them all out of it. We can kill with Braum, really. With just that alone. And Alawi can heal herself. Is the map the actual layout of Bilgewater? Thought it'd be more of an archipelago. Oh, I can show you the map of Bilgewater. That's like that's just one harbor of it. Rune King is actually a very big game. Okay, I think Braum can kill here. Oh, that was so clean.
Life is the sweetness of fruit and the joy of battle.
Oh, well, I took a screenshot. Where is it? Region map. Yeah, so this is Bilgewater. We're in Grey Harbor right now, which is, it's Grey Harbor because the black mist is kind of lingering there. But there's also, like, all the way to the Fortune Estate, that kind of thing, and there's even the ocean map. Because currently we're in Bilgewater, but we're going to head over to the Shadow Isles eventually. Yeah, this is the full map of Bilgewater. Then you could see like Bilgewater in the lore section over here. I do think Bilgewater will be included in the RIOT MMO just because of its location and kind of being kind of lawless and a hub. I mean, look at the characters that we have. We've got Alawi from Bilgewater. We've got Yasuo from freaking Ionia. We've got Braum from the Freljord. I just feel like it can be included at launch just because it's just so much of a melting pot. A guy from Noxus is not going to be able to interact with his buddy from Demacia without a place like Bilgewater in the game. Let me actually read this stuff. Looming Death, so this guy on the right. On death, curses the champion who killed it, dealing massive damage after 3 turns. And then Transfer Essence on death, increase power of all allies by 25% for 3 turns. I kind of just want to kill them both at the same time. They both have on-death effects that aren't very good. Man. I really need, like... Why not heal, and then I'll get the heal too from the actual square. Or actually, it's attack power up. I thought it was a heal. I do wonder if someone from Riot watches your videos and takes inspiration. I hope they do. That would be crazy. I don't know if Riot knows who I am yet. I think the Arcane team might know who I am, like people on Arcane project, just because Arcane was really big. The thing is, people don't really care. I don't think people don't care, but it's like not a popular thing, Runeterra lore right now. It's just not. But Arcane was really popular, and so like I had these videos just pop off. Jinx is alive, Arcane ending explained. So those did really well. And I think it's just because Arcane did really well. But, I mean, I've been doing it for 3 years. Maybe Riot knows who I am. If they do, can you give me API access, Riot, so I can start hosting tournaments and stuff? I also want to get like analytics going on my website. I'd really appreciate it. You know, if you're there, if you're out there. Bro, I think some people are gonna quit their jobs for this MMO. This is literally 0% chance to screw it up. Oh yeah, no. God, I just literally the whole reason for the stream, for everything that I'm doing, is just so I can play the RIOT MMO when it comes out and get into beta and have like a good stream going. This the whole reason for everything. I'm too much into it. Cracking just started. Man. Let's see. Test. Test. 1. I see I can't hear anything in the Elgato wave. Okay, if it's still cracking, then it's definitely with Streamlabs. So I need to look into that. And it only happens for some reason when I'm playing like an actual game.
This is destiny.
Maybe next time, you'll win.
No idea why. We need this chest down here. I can't wait until I can eventually... I'm just going to get a PC eventually is my hope. Currently all I have is a Mac. Like, I would be playing this on my PC. But I've got a Mac, and so I got to play it on my Switch. I basically got the Switch hooked up to a Elgato 4KX. What did I just get? Didn't I just get something? Pretty good, I thought. Oh, wow. I need to equip that. Oh, Fishbone Talisman. That's good. I feel like Macs are really good for, you know, like coding. I really like coding my Mac, but then when it comes to other stuff, man, like even just this.
Would you relax? Alex said the necklace would protect us.
Exactly. And I don't see Malik out here, do you?
Shh. Hear that? Something just moved out there. Come on! Don't leave me out here!
The jagged hooks. Gangplank's old crew.
Whoever they are, it's a miracle they've survived this long.
No, not a miracle. Come, we must investigate.
The jagged hooks. The person I'm looking for came here to find them.
These are rough men. Your friend may be in danger.
Yeah, we'd best hurry.
So Alawi already knows something's up. They definitely shouldn't be able to survive here. Should we go down here to smuggle? I think. What about? Okay, I do want to go up to the Cario's estate because I remember the story being good. We must find out how these bandits are surviving in the mist before we go further. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a choice. Definitely don't do that in the RIOT MMO. I've been talking about ways that they can, you know, section off the world without having it to be too jarring. Like, I think the Freljord is going to be an expansion. They could divide it off just with the mountain range here. Ishtal is literally a jungle that will eat you alive, and so just have the jungle literally kill people that come in too close. Targon can be separated off by the mountain range. Ikathia should just be like not even existing. After all, in Shurima they erased Ikathia from the map, so have the map not even show Ikathia. You just have like a mountain cut off there. Ionia can be just separated by the sea. Yep, it's a Mac problem indeed. Last 20 minutes of yesterday's stream had it too. Thought it was my headphones. No, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll uninstall Streamlabs and reinstall it. Is it still happening right now? Or did it stop? And it only happens whenever I cook up the 4KX to the game. But then when I listen in the wavelink, it's fine. Test, test. Yeah, it sounds fine in wavelink. Yeah, it's still going on. What the heck? Let me see if it keeps happening if I switch to the... Let's try switching back to like the iPad and everything and see if it's still happening. Let me see. That'll help me diagnose. Let's do this. Oh, did I unplug the wrong one? Oh, I did. No, I plugged this in backwards. What did I even do here? I don't understand what the heck I just did. Oh, did I? I go like this. This goes in here. So many cables around me. Well, did it stop? I mean, if it stopped right now, then it can be the 4KX. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Um, it's fine now. But see, I would say it's the 4KX, but it doesn't happen when I'm it doesn't happen when I'm what's it called? Like when I'm doing this, which is still the same thing. Maybe it's when sound is coming through it. We could try that. See if when sound is coming through. Let's try that. Man, I haven't played Wild Rift in a long time. I don't even know like where to even start. So let me see the sound. If I have like sound coming through on the 4KX. Where's settings? Settings, audio. Oh. All right. Well, tell me it's tell me if this isn't happening here, then I really don't know. Let's see. So is it happening right now? Let's try. Maybe if I go into a game. Seems okay, I'm gonna try it. Sounds fine now. Guys, please, no judgments right now, okay? I'm literally never played freaking Wild Rift. Except for a few times just when they had an event going on. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be bad. Get me in gold. Adventure mode? Okay, let's just how do I even play, man? PvP. Play 2 game modes. Ranked. I always thought the animations were really cool in Wild Rift, the champions and all that. That's why I'm always showing the models. All right. Jungler. Find a match. Whatever. Let's see what happens. I wonder why this isn't showing the background. Let me try this. 100. Oh, okay, it's there. It's just hidden. 150. Well, I don't know how it's looking on freaking mobile right now. Probably not great. You guys ever seen Wild Rift? It's honestly, I actually think Wild Rift is probably a better game than League of Legends, and I'm aware that's a hot take. It feels better to play, and I'm gonna get a lot of smack for saying something like that. Wow, this game's taking a while to get me in. Estimated wait time was 40 seconds. I'm at 2 minutes. And here I am saying Wild Rift is better than League. Do I still sound good? I'm gonna exit out and try to like add positions or something. Jeez. I mean, I don't really care. It's not like I'm gonna be freaking ranking or something. Secondary position, any position. I'll play whatever. Just find me a match. Yes, you may have had a cable conflict. No, it's clear. I mean, I don't think it's gonna get any worse if I actually get into a game. Maybe it's because I had the HDMI output to the... We could try that. Okay, I want to try one more thing. Instead of going... I'm not going to connect the HDMI. Oh, no, wait. No, that I did before, and that was an issue. Still. I don't understand why whenever I hook up the Switch to the 4KX, then I get audio issues on my mic. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the difference is between the iPad and the Switch, because it shouldn't make a difference. You know, one day we'll be on a PC, and I'll just play all the games locally. No, cable is 100% shielded. You may want to route it from opposite ends. But I mean, it's the same hookup as with the iPad. Like, I'm on the iPad right now, but it's the same like, you know, route. I got an HDMI going from the iPad to the 4KX, and then the 4KX is hooked up via like a cable to the Mac. Studio on the left, video on the right, audio on the left. But the audio is in the same spot as it was before. Am I missing something? Why can't I get into a game? What's going on here? I'm literally saying any position. I don't understand. Play 2 more games to obtain champion protection card. What about ARAM? Just let me play ARAM. Sure. Are the cables overlapping now? I mean, no. The cables are in the same spot as they were before. In my opinion, the hype of Riot MMO is so big right now. If they could announce a beta date or something like that, it would be amazing to try. I see them all times popping up on every platform I open. That's probably just me. I think you're watching my videos, so everything thinks that you're a huge Riot MMO like enthusiast, and so they're just promoting Riot MMO shit everywhere because you're watching my stuff. And my stuff is like Riot MMO and Runeterra lore. I think people are hungry for a new MMO. Whether that's the Riot MMO or something else, people just want like something new. Could be World of Warcraft 2. But like honestly, it's just getting like playing the same thing for so long. Now, I'm not saying World of Warcraft is a bad game. World of Warcraft is a great game. It's just it's World of Warcraft is held back in a lot of ways by old systems and old designs that it kind of you can't really change at this point. Like changing it would probably be detrimental to the game because a lot of people wouldn't like it. So World of Warcraft is just better off playing it safe and not taking any risks unless you want to do like a World of Warcraft 2, which is a risk in and of itself. But with the Riot MMO, at least there's hope of something new, and it's in their it's advantageous to them to do something new. Like doing something like World of Warcraft would be insane because people would just keep playing World of Warcraft. Why would they switch over to Runeterra if it's the exact same game set in Runeterra? And I think Mark Merrill, like the Tryndamere, the guy who's in charge of Riot Games, recognized that early. He literally said, it's not I'm not trying to make a World of Warcraft 2. It was too similar to World of Warcraft. That's what caused the Riot Games reset. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get into a game, guys. Maybe we'll just talk. Let's just talk for the foreseeable future. We'll talk about the Riot MMO. I'm fine doing that forever, so I don't understand why I can't get into a game though. Let me lower the volume again on this. We'll talk about Riot MMO. I have an article that has a lot of stuff that I would talk about. Sound effects, music. Let's pull up a nice champion here. Rise. I always like Rise. I feel like he's the Khadgar of Runeterra. A little bit of the music going. Alright. Well, I have no idea why that was happening, but it's really bothering me that the 4KX is having issues with the Switch for some reason. And nothing else. But in terms of Runeterra and the Riot MMO, let me pull up this article here. Where is it? I did launch map. Which one of these had everything? Oh, the Great MMO Reset. I think it's this one. It's not this one. It's the Great MMO Reset. Yeah. The initial vision wasn't that different. And I think I literally have like where is it? Oh, like you can see Mark Merrill playing. I think it was posted by Oh Hey Spun. Mark Merrill, Riot MMO. Yeah, right here. Look at this video.
Riot MMO project still on. Absolutely. Don't believe that.
Hold on, that's too quiet. And you guys can't. Can you guys hear it?
The naysayers. Will you finish the Riot MMO before 2030? Sure hope so. Although launch is the start, not the end.
There we go.
So finish.
This is him
Is the
talking.
Riot MMO project still on? Absolutely. Don't believe the naysayers. Will you finish the Riot MMO before 2030? Sure hope so. Although launch is the start, not the end. So finish. Is the Riot MMO...
He's literally playing World of Warcraft and saying, the Riot MMO is going to come out, but then, he already said in that one tweet, where is that tweet? There we go. Here's the Riot MMO going dark tweet. He said, "Hey all, we know many of you are hungry for news about the Riot Games project. We really appreciate your patience and the incredible support you've shown us so far. I'm writing to update you today where we're at. And before anyone panics, yes, we are still working on the game. This was done in back in 2024. After a lot of frustration, we decided to reset the direction of the project some time ago." So they reset it back in 2023. Well, some time ago before this. This decision wasn't easy but necessary. The initial vision was just not different enough from what you can play today. Basically saying that the game was way too similar to World of Warcraft. Way too similar. So they wanted to make something different. Do you think the MMO camera will be third person like WoW or top down like League of Legends? I think it'll be third person. It's going to be action combat third person. True, but I I remember there's like a role too. There's a role that definitely talked about action combat, and I think there was a role that described third person in it. So yeah, I think it'll be third person like World of Warcraft. And plus they were designing it anyways, like from the beginning to be third person because the initial vision was close to World of Warcraft. I don't think that's going to change in terms of the perspective. True, but I searched to find your channel before because I got hooked with someone else's video. But yeah, I agree with you about WoW. They killed it by doing a lot of the wrong things the past 8 to 9 years. Yeah, I really like World of Warcraft a lot, and I'm a fan of like the Azeroth universe and all that. But I think me personally, I just kind of got bored doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I really don't like transmog. I really don't like. I feel like what's the point anymore? You know, like I got my perfect gear set transmog wise. I've got a cool mount. Like, what am I striving for? I think transmog is a bad thing. I really hope we don't get transmog in the RIOT MMO. Maybe I'll make an article about that because transmog defeats the purpose of like your next expansion. You know, your next expansion, you should look like shit for a while, and you should want to complete the raid so you can get the full gear set and look good. But then like with transmog, it's like, do you really have to? No one's gonna know who you are. Well, this is a good sign for me. If they did reset, guess we just have to let it marinate. Yeah, well, this was back in 2024, so they're farther along at this point. We started laying the groundwork. Resetting our development path also meant going dark. Yeah. That's really it from that tweet. But yeah, they where's my yeah, the Great Reset. I still think this timeline is pretty accurate down here. Is it in this article? That's playable races. Zone predictions. Forget where I put it. It's in one of these articles. I have like new roles, new direction. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, I still feel like this is pretty accurate for the project development timeline. You know, 2021, the MMO was confirmed. That was Ghostcrawler announced it. And then we go over to 2024, 2025. That's we get some like core tech roles as well as the project reset. And well, 2024, during 2024, before 2025. At that point, the reset was announced. The reset probably happened sometime in 2023. At this point, we've had like, what, a year and a half, almost 2 years of development. And that's after they didn't like throw away all the work that they did prior. I'm sure all the art assets and everything are there. And the new roles are looking for like people who manage the economy and figure out how the economy is going to work in MMO. So at this point, I still think that we're probably going to get, you know, like an alpha and a beta around. I think we're going to get some kind of announcement in 2026. 2027 will be alpha, and you'll start getting news and everything. Let's keep in mind, you know, 2XKO, if you look at it today, it's not even out yet, but look at the community. It feels like the game is already here. 2028 will be beta, and the game will come out in 2029, and at the latest, 2030. I think that's like the real, accurate, realistic prediction of the timeline for the MMO. When the RIOT MMO is going to release, oh, well, good. I didn't even read your comment, but I just answered it. Yeah, I think it will release in 2029, but if you look, I mean, this game isn't even out yet. Where is it? I always go to 2xko.com. But then okay, they added it. Finally, they added 2xko to under games here. That took a while. Like 2xko isn't even out yet, but look at the community that's grown around it. Look at the player base, the news. Like, you will feel the RIOT MMO is here long before the RIOT MMO is actually released. And, you know, hopefully Riot will throw me some beta keys, and I'll gladly toss those to you guys. Yeah, we'll have a closed beta and stuff like that, and you'll have a full website with news and all that. So I think we're farther along than a lot of people realize. Oh, that's my zones at launch article. And the main mistakes that I think the Riot MMO cannot make are stuff like this, you know, selling boosts, arbitrating, like making content arbitrary, like pay to skip stuff. Obviously can't be pay to win. And I think the last article, right? Our last article was the, yeah, I went through what I think the pay model should be. I really think a battle pass is the best solution. I really think a battle pass is the best solution for an MMO. Make it free to play, no monthly subscription. A battle pass, but the battle pass should be at least like the end reward should be on the free tier as well. But that might be asking a lot. And like you can pay for the battle pass and you get, you know, some kind of currency as well. But you can't sell, it can't be like an XP boost. Yeah, it seems accurate to me too. Yeah, I think I'm being realistic with that. I'm not like overselling it or anything like that, or you know, pushing too hard on like trying to get an early date as possible. That's what I really think it is. I wrote that comment 2 minutes ago and you are reading it now. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think I went on a tangent. When I go on a tangent, man, I'm just rolling. So don't arbitrarily like make content and then like pay to skips. That can't happen. I don't want to see an in-game store. Like you can have a battle pass, but I don't want to see people buying gear. And I don't think transmog is healthy for a game. Like if you look at this image here, you can clearly tell how powerful someone is just by a quick glance. This gnome in the bottom left is clearly level 2, level 3 gnome, something like that. Just starting out. This gnome on the pedestal over here is probably like level 20 something. Looks a little bit more powerful. This human jumping in the middle is probably like level 40 something, something like that. A little bit more powerful, you know, a little bit stronger. You can tell just by a quick glance, you can tell like what kind of character someone is, how much work they put into the game. Versus here, you have no freaking idea who is what level, how powerful someone is. Like this Tauren holding a flower could be the #1 PvP player on the server by a mile. But at the same time, he's holding flowers and his name is Master Botanist. So we don't know. And so I think transmog, and it defeats the purpose of an expansion. Like a lot of times you go to an expansion, you want to get the new gear so you can show it off. And it's okay to be, I know, like, so with transmog, I know you earn it, you know, you put it on, whatever. And I know people probably wouldn't like the fact that, oh, now my old gear is worthless. But it's not worthless. It was worth it at the time. Like you had the whole expansion to show off that gear and show off that weapon that you got. And I think that's worth the being forced to like have to acquire gear over again in the new expansion. Does that make sense? Like the pain of having to feel like your gear isn't worth it after the expansion is not, it's worth more that you're forced into. It's almost like people always take the path of least resistance, because if it's easier, they'll do it, even if it's not good for them. You know, at the end of the day, it's way easier to run an old raid and get a nice set than it is to run the new raid and get that set. And so people are just going to run the old raid, get a nice set, transmog it, and then they're done. In WoW, you pay gold to make your armor weapons look different. So if your normal gear would be super mismatched, you can make it look like a set of or old gear without losing stats. Pay gold to make. Yeah, exactly. That's transmog. Yep, that's transmog. I don't think it's great. I think transmog is really. I think it takes a lot away from an MMO. Like I was saying, in Classic WoW, you can clearly tell who looks like who. And I know a lot of people are gonna look like trash. But at the same time, in Burning Crusade, when you saw someone with a full set, with a full freaking set, it was epic. Like you just be walking around the city and you see a guy in a full set of like the Burning Crusade gear. You'd be impressed, you know? But now you can't tell. You just can't. You look around, everyone looks the same. They might as well all be wearing the same gear. Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 articles that I want to make. Google Drive, because I always forget. After I end the stream, I always forget what were the articles that I wanted to make. New. Wait, I gotta go to my drive. Scripts. Oh, that's bright. There we go. There we go. Darken it up for me. Riot MMO cardinal sins. One was, I said, transmog. Pay to win. Pay to accelerate. Like to speed up. I don't know what to call that. Like pay to accelerate. Are there any other cardinal sins of an MMO? That definitely, like, if you do it, you're done. Like, in my opinion, I'm gonna put transmog up there. I think transmog is a horrible thing. I see. Thanks. I think I have that in PoE too. Oh wait, yeah. While players look at transmog like painting and turning their cars into something like that, but I think the gear design of Riot will be too good to need a transmog NBC. I think the Riot gear is going to be good, but at the same time, like the gear, 5-10 years from then, it's going to look much better. And then the reason they did transmog is to make, the reason World of Warcraft did transmog is to make old content relevant again. Like it added a ton of content to the game because now there was a reason to go back and do old raids. But I think there's a better way to do that, like to incentivize people to go do old raids. I like time walking. Time walking, I think, was the best way to make use of old content and bring it back to life. Way more than transmog. But now that you did transmog, you can't go back. These are mistakes that you can't fix. They're very difficult to fix. Bots. You can't have bots because they'll destroy the economy. I need to make this bigger. You guys probably can't even read that. Let's go like 45. Yeah. There's a Riot MMO cardinal sins. If you guys can think of anything else, let me know. I'm gonna make this into an article. What was the other article that we said? Forgot what it was when I was going on my rant. I don't remember. This is gonna be the next Riot MMO article anyways. Riot MMO cardinal sins. Thoughts on gacha mechanics, mounts, cosmetics? How the problem with mounts is that they're so rampant, but at the same time it's like the only reward. Oh, in-game store. In-game store. Gear. How do I like a sub bullet point? Gear. I need to make this a little bit smaller. That's a little too big. Okay, I need some room to work, guys. How about 35? That's fine, I think. In-game store. Selling like gear and mounts, I think, is a bad thing. Mounts, cosmetics. The way you look in MMO matters. The way you look in MMO really matters. And you have to earn that. You can't just buy it in a store. And mounts go with that. I don't think mounts should be purchasable in a store. And the thing is, Riot MMO is going to be free to play for sure. And so, how do they make money? Right? If they're not selling mounts, they're not selling cosmetics, they're not selling gear, they're not offering pay to win, they're not offering pay to accelerate. What would the battle pass contain? Like some kind of, I don't even know. What? Yes, visual progression is so important. It is. Player housing. Ooh, don't get me started on player housing. I know World of Warcraft is starting to do player housing. There's got to be player housing. I was talking about where I'd want to live. Where I'd want to live in Runeterra. I think I came to the conclusion of Targon. A lot of people said Ionia, but there's a lot of demons in Ionia. So I don't know if you'd want to live there. Azakana. Way too many demons. Bilgewater is way too cutthroat, and you have to deal with the harrowings from the Shadow Isles. Ishtal is an isolated jungle that will eat you alive. Especially if you go down here, there's a character named Zira who's pretty much a bunch of thorns. She looks hot, but she'll kill you. Shurima, there's the literally Lavender Sea and Void creatures that come up all the time because of Acathia. Noxus and Demacia are both decent, but Noxus is very much like the powerful rule. And so if you're not powerful, you're going to be... It's not going to be a good time for you. Demacia, if you're a mage, you're going to be forced to like drink pesticide and basically be imprisoned. So the Freljord is literally where the Watchers are and old gods, and it's cold as fuck. I don't want to live somewhere cold. So we came to the conclusion with Targon is the best place to live in Runeterra. So that's where we're all going to live. Emotes. I like emotes. Emotes is good. That's a good idea. Oh, I like that. Wow. Yeah, like Battle Pass, you can get like, you know, emotes. Like you can do quick, you know, those quick like kind of reaction stuff. That'd be cool. See, that's kind of something that I would like. There's no way that this isn't going to be, there isn't going to be an in-game store, especially if it's free to play. Even if they have a Battle Pass though, like that's the thing. I feel like if you're going to do a Battle Pass, you don't need an in-game store. I would agree with the first 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4 in-game store. I would agree with the first 4 points, but the 5th, I would say it's fine if they have the need to earn good money to satisfying stakeholders so that they get continued funding. Yeah, here's what another thing about the in-game store. I don't like when they offer the in-game store that you can purchase with in-game currency. And everyone gets happy about that. Oh, but you can earn it in-game. No, it's bull. They literally do that so you can how do I make it there? You get rid of this. The way that's like the worst thing that you can do. So like paint online. Go to my paint. I need to get like I need to just bookmark this, and I wish it was black. Paint colors black. View. No. Not full screen. View. Large zoom. I don't understand why it looks like shit. It always looks like so pixelated. Colors. So you have the store. The store here. And then you have you can purchase it with money. So this is Billy. Billy's got a lot of green, a lot of cash. Colors. Edit colors. Billy's got a lot of dough. Look at that money. And so Billy buys it from the store. Now they say, oh, but you can earn it in game. Like you don't actually need to do any of this stuff. Like they're so nice. They're offering it to you with just your playing. You know, you don't have to do anything. This is Johnny. Johnny's broke, but Johnny earns gold. You know, Johnny earns a lot of gold in the game. And so Johnny used gold to buy that. And then this is Clarissa. Clarissa's a babe. Clarissa's actually a girl that plays an MMO. It's crazy, I know. But keep in mind, this is just for like me telling the story. It doesn't actually matter. Johnny's gonna tell Clarissa, I bought it with gold. That's how I purchased it. I purchased it with gold. Let me actually change that color. Johnny's gonna tell Clarissa, I purchased it with gold. And Billy's gonna tell Clarissa, I purchased it with gold. Now Clarissa wants like a nice beefy boy that's in game that can earn a lot of money in game and not just like a cash cow outside of the world. So Clarissa doesn't know who to go with anymore because they're both saying that they just used gold to purchase it. That's why that I don't like this. I hate it. Like you should, if you purchase something with cash, it should be obvious that you didn't invest any time into it in the game and that you purchased it with real life money. This just dilutes it so everyone can say, oh, but I earned it with in-game gold. Like I worked for it, guys. That's not the case.